All right, in this lesson, we're going to continue our lessons on finding the areas of different shapes. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to find the areas of trapezoids, rhombi, and kites. All right. The area of a trapezoid is half of the product of its height and the sum of the two bases. The bases are just simply the two parallel sides here. So that's base 1 and base 2. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to add base 1 plus base 2, and then take that times the height and then divide it by 2. Okay? So you can take half of the height and multiply it times the sum of that. So the key here is that you add your two bases together, take it times the height, and then take half of that. All right? And it doesn't matter when you take half of, you can add the two bases together and take half of that sum and then multiply it times the height, which, depending on the problem, may be the easier thing to do. Okay, so let's do several examples here. Okay, find the area of the trapezoid. Okay, so your two bases here are 31 and 16. So you're going to say 31 plus 16 is 47. The height here, this is your height. Okay, so we're going to take that times 5. This is 35. 4 times 5 is 23. 20 plus 3 is 23. And then we're going to say 233 divided by 2. So in other words, we're going to say area is equal to 1/2 of the base time, I'm sorry, not the base, 1/2 of the height times base 1 plus base 2. So that just says 1/2 of 5 times 31 plus 16. All right? So that's what we did, and we said 233 divided by 2 gives us, so the area is equal to 116.5 square meters. All right? This says find the area of this trapezoid. You notice that in this example here, the height was measured on the outside. Okay, on the outside of the trapezoid. It doesn't matter. Okay, and remember, trapezoids only have one pair of parallel sides. All right, only one pair of parallel sides. All right, so this one here, the height is actually measured inside. All right, and so we're going to say area is 1/2 of the height times base 1 plus base 2. If I look here, it's easy to find the height here, which is 8. So we're going to say 1/2 of 8 times 6.5 plus 21.5. All right. Half of 8 is 4 times 6.5 plus 21.5 gives us 28. And 4 times 28 gives us 112. Okay? 112 square feet. All right? This next section we're going to talk about is to find the area of a rhombus or a kite. A rhombus is just simply a parallelogram that has all the sides that are the same, and but it's could also be considered a kite. All right. The area of a rhombus or kite is half of the product of the lengths of its diagonals. All right. So 1/2 of diagonal 1 times diagonal 2. All right. Pause the video and copy this into your notes. All right, so find the area of this rhombus. Well, it says 1/2 of the diagonal 1 times diagonal 2. Okay? All right, well, so if we look here, this diagonal, now the diagonals are not going to be the same. The sides are all the same length, but the diagonals are not. So we notice that this and this are congruent, so this is also going to be 5. So this diagonal here is 10. So we're going to say half of 10 times diagonal 2. So this is 8, and this is 8, so this would be 16. All right? So we're going to say half of 10 times 16. Half of 10 is 5 times 16. All right? When we multiply that, 5 times 16 is equal to 80. So area is equal to 80 square feet. Okay? This is a kite. All right? Kites have different side lengths. If you remember when we learned about kites earlier this school year, we said that this diagonal right here, the two sides are congruent. This one is the long one is not. The two parts are not congruent, but the short one, the two sides are congruent. So, but that doesn't really matter. We're going to say area is equal to a half of diagonal 1 times diagonal 2. Okay, so that gives us 1/2 diagonal 1. It doesn't matter which one we choose. I'm going to say 34 because I know what half of 34 is, times 11. Okay, half of 34, if you don't know what half of 34 is, just go 34 divided by 2. Same thing as taking half of it. So that's 17 times 11. 17 times 11 is equal to 187 square centimeters. All right, so that area of that kite is 187 square centimeters. All right, same thing. Area is 1/2 the diagonal 1 times the diagonal 2. 1/2 of 14 times 12. And there again, it doesn't matter which one I choose as diagonal 1 and diagonal 2. Half of 14 is 7 times 12. 7 times 12, I know because of the basic multiplication facts, is 84 square millimeters. And the last one is an example. It says find the value. The area of the kite is 247.5 square millimeters. Find the value of x. Well, we know area is equal to 1/2 times diagonal 1 times diagonal 2. Okay? Well, diagonal 2, or one of them is x. Okay? So area is 247.5 is equal to 1/2 of, we'll say 22.5 times diagonal 2, which is x. Okay? So if we do the math, 247.5, okay, half of 22.5, so go to 22.5 divided by 2 gives 11.25 times x. All right. Remember, we're solving for x, so we're going to divide both sides by 11.25. All right. So we have 247.5 divided by 11.25, and we end up that the second diagonal is 22. So 22 is equal to x, or 22, this is millimeters, is equal to x. So that means that this diagonal here is 22. All right? So that does it for this lesson. Make sure that you have copied all of the notes down, and make sure that you ask me any questions if you don't understand something, and we'll talk to y'all later on.